The void of space stretched endless and dark, speckled with distant suns and drifting debris. Captain Elias Ward stared out from the bridge of the Horizon Vanguard, his hands resting lightly on the railing. Every sensor reading, every blip on the tactical display, confirmed what he already knew: the Zyrix Predators were ruthless, cunning, and utterly convinced of their own invincibility. "They've never seen humans like this," Elias muttered under his breath, more to himself than anyone else. Lieutenant Cade, standing to his right, glanced at him with a frown. "You really think our little fleet can make a dent in their patrols? They've hunted star systems whole. We're talking thousands of years of dominance." Elias didn't flinch. "That's exactly why we're here. They've grown complacent. They think no one can challenge them. That's where we come in." The fleet drifted silently into the outer rim of the Zyrix sector. The human ships were small compared to the massive, jagged war cruisers that patrolled these lanes, vessels built like predatory fortresses with armored plating and lethal weapon arrays. Sensors detected motion in the distance, a swarm of fast attack crafts, hunting the sectors with terrifying precision. "Visuals coming online," said Ensign Lyra, her voice steady but tense. "Multiple contacts, bearing 23 degrees starboard. Looks like, oh, they're already scanning." The bridge lights dimmed as the crew leaned into their stations. The Predator's ships glimmered with a strange bioluminescent glow, the surface writhing subtly, as if alive. No ordinary technology. These were living war machines, each one a predator in its own right. Elias's jaw tightened. "Maintain stealth. No shots until the signal is clear. Let them come closer." A shiver passed through the bridge, though not from fear. It was anticipation, a human instinct honed over millennia of survival. While the Zyrix relied on brute force, humans relied on ingenuity, adaptation, and unpredictability. This mission wasn't about meeting them head-on. It was about showing them that raw power could be countered with cleverness. Minutes crawled by like hours as the Horizon Vanguard drifted closer to the hunting grounds. Sensors picked up energy fluctuations, small, quick pulses like lightning in the dark, emanating from the approaching Predator fleet. Elias studied the patterns carefully. "They're testing the perimeter, probing for weaknesses. They assume their aura of fear is enough to keep anyone away. Assumptions are dangerous," Lyra said softly. Elias allowed himself a small smile. "Exactly." The first Predator ship came into visual range, immense and terrifying. Its hull shimmered, reflecting starlight in jagged, unnatural patterns. Its engines emitted a low hum, almost a growl, as though the vessel itself were aware of its prey. Elias leaned over the console, fingers tracing calculated paths across the navigation board. "Cade, Squad Delta ready?" he asked. "All set, Captain," Cade replied. "Weapons primed, cloaking active. We move on your mark." Elias nodded. He could feel the tension in the room, the same tension he had felt countless times in battle simulations, but this was real. Lives, stakes, and reputation of humanity itself balanced on precision, timing, and nerves. "Engage stealth vectors. Approach the nearest Predator craft at 2.3 clicks. Keep shields low, engines silent. Let them think we're just debris." The fleet moved like shadows across the starlit canvas, weaving between asteroid fragments and derelict hulls. The Zyrix patrols scanned diligently, unaware that the humans were threading their way closer with deadly intent. Hours passed. The human fleet had approached within striking distance of the Predator's central outpost, a massive station orbiting a desolate moon. Elias peered at the display, marking weak points in the armor, gaps in the defense grids, and blind spots in the energy fields. Every vulnerability would be a human advantage. "Delta Squad, prepare boarding modules," Elias commanded. "We're not just showing force. We're going in. Minimum exposure, maximum effect." The crew obeyed, movements precise, practiced. It was a dance humans had refined, not strength, but coordination, patience, and ingenuity. As the first boarding pods detached, cloaked and silent, a single, monstrous thought ran through Elias's mind: if humans failed, the Predators would consume this entire sector without hesitation. The first pod docked. Magnetic clamps engaged. The Predator vessel hissed, alive with motion, responding instinctively to foreign intrusion. Sensors went haywire as the living armor pulsed. Elias's voice cut through the comms. Stick to plan. Remember, their perception is their weakness. They expect fear. We give precision. The boarding team moved like shadows, bypassing security grids, avoiding biosensors that pulsed with awareness. Inside, the vessel was more horrifying than expected. Organic corridors twisted like the interior of a living beast, walls breathing subtly, emitting faint pheromones designed to disorient invaders. Cade whispered, "It's alive. It knows we're here." Elias ignored the tremor in his own chest. "Then let's remind them humans are unpredictable." A series of silent charges disabled the vessel's core weapons. Every step forward, every system disabled, demonstrated the humans' ingenuity. The Zyrix Predators would never have imagined such tactics. Brute strength could not anticipate creativity, coordination, or patience, the very traits that defined humans. The boarding party moved into the central chamber. One Predator, massive and armored, turned toward them, eyes glinting with contempt. "Humans," it hissed. "Fools who dare." Elias stepped forward, calm, measured. "Not fools. Calculated risk-takers." The Predator lunged, expecting panic, but the humans moved with precision, using the environment, leveraging minimal but critical force. For the first time, the Predator realized these humans were unlike any prey it had ever hunted. They were not weak. They were not predictable. As alarms blared and the vessel shuddered from internal sabotage, Elias allowed himself a fleeting satisfaction. They had reached the core of the mission, demonstrating that humans could challenge even the most terrifying of galactic predators. From the observation deck, the other Predator ships loomed like silent judges, unaware that one of their own was being systematically dismantled by beings they had always considered beneath notice. Elias's voice rang clear across the comms. "This is only the beginning. Humanity has arrived. And we do not retreat." The Predator turned its glowing eyes on him, shock and disbelief etched across its alien face. For the first time in centuries, its species' invincibility had been challenged, and it had no idea how to respond. Outside the vessel, the void remained silent, but the galaxy would soon know. Humans had come, and they were not to be underestimated. The Predator vessel groaned and pulsed under the subtle sabotage of the human boarding team. Each system disabled, each corridor neutralized, sent ripples through the living armor, like a predator sensing a wound it could not heal. Captain Elias Ward watched the tactical display from the control hub of the Horizon Vanguard, his calm demeanor hiding the tension coiling in his chest. "Cade, how's the boarding team?" Elias asked, eyes scanning the fluctuating schematics of the vessel. "All squads in position," Cade replied. "They're moving faster than expected. The Predator's sensors are compromised but adapting. They're confused." "It's working." Elias nodded, his mind racing. "Good. Keep them focused. Every second counts. Remember, they think they're untouchable. That arrogance is our ally." Inside the Predator vessel, the boarding squads moved like shadows in a living nightmare. Walls shifted subtly underfoot, corridors constricting and expanding as if the ship itself were breathing, watching, judging. Predators patrolled, their massive forms silhouetted in iridescent bioluminescence, unaware that humans had already turned their home into a labyrinth of misdirection. The first contact was brutal but precise. Sergeant Rena lunged from a side corridor, deploying an EMP pulse that disabled the nearest Predator guard for exactly 10 seconds, enough for the team to bypass undetected. One Predator hissed, sensing interference. Its claws scraped against the living walls, searching for the intruders. "Humans," it growled in guttural tones. "You think you can survive?" Elias's comms crackled. "Remember the plan. Minimal engagement, maximum disruption. Do not let them predict your moves." The humans spread like calculated tendrils, sabotaging the vessel's navigation controls, energy cores, and communication nodes. Each move was methodical, exposing the Predator's overconfidence. They had never faced an enemy who valued intellect over strength, subtlety over brute force. On the bridge, Elias observed the Predator Lord through the observation window. Its eyes glimmered with incredulity. "They move with purpose," it hissed to the crew. "They are different." Kate smirked, whispering to his team. "Yes, and they're human." The Predator, realizing the anomaly, began issuing commands, its tone a mixture of frustration and disbelief. "Seal the corridors! Deploy countermeasures! Crush them!" But the humans had anticipated this. A series of well-placed decoys and strategically jammed communication nodes turned the vessel's defenses against itself. Predator patrols collided, systems misfired, and internal doors slammed shut on their own ranks. Confusion reigned where once absolute dominance had existed. Elias's voice cut through the comms, calm but authoritative. "Delta Squad, converge on the main core. Disable the energy matrix. We move fast, precise, and synchronized." The squads executed flawlessly, navigating corridors that flexed and breathed around them. As the energy matrix chamber loomed ahead, the Predator's arrogance became its undoing. It assumed humans could not survive a direct confrontation with its core defenses. Yet the boarding team, using agility, intellect, and quick thinking, outmaneuvered every trap. Inside the chamber, Sergeant Rena placed the final charges on the energy matrix, hands steady despite the living ship thrumming beneath her. "Matrix is primed," she reported. Elias's eyes narrowed. "Initiate detonation in 5, 4, 3. A pulse of controlled energy erupted. The chambers shuddered violently, corridors twisting under the strain. The Predator crew scrambled, but the human squads were already exiting along planned escape vectors. From the observation deck, the Predator Lord watched helplessly as its vessel convulsed. "Impossible," it hissed. "They were so precise." Elias's voice, calm and unwavering, came through the vessel's damaged comms. "Your strength is impressive, but strength alone does not win battles. Strategy, intelligence, and courage, these are human traits. You underestimated us." A Predator patrol tried to retaliate, hurling energy lances toward the human pods. Elias anticipated each strike, issuing commands that guided every pod through the chaos. The boarding team's maneuvers were flawless, every decision calculated to exploit the Predator's assumptions. The vessel's systems began to collapse from the internal sabotage. Lights flickered, corridors twisted, and the once feared warship groaned under its own structural feedback. Predators, who had seen entire fleets bow to their might, now realized their supremacy was not absolute. From his vantage point, Elias allowed himself a brief smile. They thought untouchable meant invincible. They were wrong. The Predator Lord's form shimmered in anger. It tried to communicate, but the humans had severed all internal networks. It lashed out physically, clawing at the walls, but the sabotage had neutralized the vessel's mobility. Trapped, confused, and shocked, the once proud Predator could only watch its empire crumble from within. Outside, the Horizon Vanguard fleet moved like shadows, unseen and untouchable. Sensors confirmed the Predator vessel was incapacitated but not destroyed, a message, a warning, and a demonstration of human ingenuity. Elias's comms buzzed with incoming transmissions from his team. "All squads accounted for. Damage controlled. The vessel is neutralized." He exhaled slowly, the weight of the moment pressing against his shoulders. "Good work, everyone. Remember this. Today, we showed them humans are not prey. Today, we proved we can challenge the untouchable." The crew allowed themselves a brief moment of triumph, though Elias knew the mission was far from over. The Predators were many, powerful, and arrogant. But for the first time, they had tasted what humans could do when intellect, courage, and strategy combined. From the observation deck of the disabled vessel, the Predator Lord's eyes glimmered with something new: respect, fear, and disbelief intertwined. It had assumed invincibility, but humans had rewritten the rules in minutes. Elias looked out at the void of space, feeling the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. "This is just the beginning," he whispered. "They will never see us the same way again. The human fleet retreated silently into the darkness, leaving the once feared predator immobilized and humbled. Word of the human strike would spread across the stars, not as a rumor, but as undeniable proof. Humans had arrived, and their era of ingenuity and courage had begun. The void of space had never seemed so alive. Each star shimmered with the potential of war, each shadow held the promise of strategy. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the Horizon Vanguard, surveying the crippled predator vessel they had left behind. Yet he knew this was only the opening act. The real battle awaited, the full fleet of Zyrix Predators, alerted now to humanity's audacity. "They've called reinforcements," Lieutenant Cade reported, eyes scanning the displays. "At least 10 cruisers heading this way. They know someone interfered." Elias nodded. "Then we prepare for what they didn't expect, humans who refuse to be predictable." Dr. Vera, the chief strategist, leaned over the tactical console. "Their fleet is massive. If we go in guns blazing, we're annihilated." Elias smiled faintly. "Then we won't go in guns blazing. We'll go in smart, coordinated, and invisible until the moment we strike." The human fleet split into 3 columns, cloaked and silent. They moved through asteroid fields, around dead moons, and through radiation storms, exploiting gaps the predators assumed untraversable. The predators, confident in their power, pursued what they thought was a normal patrol skirmish, unaware of the trap forming around them. Cade clenched his fists. "They'll realize too late. Every move we make is calculated, precise. Every step we take forces them into mistakes they didn't even know they could make." Elias's voice was calm, authoritative. "Focus on the flagship. The rest will fall in line once they see their apex vessel compromised." As the fleet approached the Predator flagship, the humans released their first wave of sabotage drones, small, agile, and programmed with unparalleled precision. They infiltrated the enemy hull, causing systems to malfunction, engines to misfire, and communications to collapse. Lights flickered across the Predator vessels, confusion spreading like wildfire. A massive Predator cruiser lurched, spinning uncontrollably. Its officers screeched in alien tones, issuing contradictory commands. "Contain the breach! Seal the intruders!" But the humans had already accounted for every response. Using advanced hacking pods and electromagnetic pulses, they forced the cruiser to isolate itself from the fleet. Within minutes, it was paralyzed, drifting in space like a wounded leviathan. Elias watched through the observation feed, a steady hand guiding his team. "Now," he ordered. "Deploy the boarding squads. Minimum casualties, maximum effect. Show them humans do not retreat." The boarding teams moved with surgical precision, bypassing energy shields and automated defenses that had terrified entire star systems. One by one, they infiltrated the flagship, cutting through corridors alive with alien instincts, walls shifting and pulsing as if resisting their intrusion. The Predator Lord aboard the flagship turned its glowing eyes toward the intruders, disbelief etched across its monstrous features. "How? Humans cannot." Elias stepped forward, calm and measured. "We are not limited by your assumptions. We are humans. We adapt. We survive. And when necessary, we strike where you least expect it." The Predator roared, unleashing a wave of energy that shook the vessel. Yet the humans moved as if choreographed, dodging and countering with agility, intellect, and foresight. Each strike disrupted critical systems, leaving the once dominant warship in chaos. Outside, the rest of the Predator fleet watched helplessly. Their flagship, the apex of their dominance, was crippled, not by sheer force, but by strategy, coordination, and human ingenuity. Fear and disbelief spread through their ranks like a virus. Inside the flagship, the humans reached the core chamber. Dr. Vera and her team quickly set precise charges at key points, destabilizing the energy matrix without triggering catastrophic reactions. Elias monitored the countdown, calm and resolute. "Charges set. Ready on your mark," Vera reported. Elias's finger hovered over the command console. "Now." A controlled pulse detonated within the chamber. The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring across the vessel. Corridors twisted, systems failed, and the Predator Lord's cries echoed through the hull. The humans retreated with practiced efficiency, every move anticipated, every escape route calculated. From the observation deck, the Predator Lord's eyes glimmered with recognition, fear, respect, and disbelief intertwining. It had assumed humans were prey, fragile and insignificant. Now it realized that humans were neither weak nor predictable. Elias spoke to his team over the comms. "We've proven what we needed to. Let this be a lesson: arrogance is not invincibility. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability are forces that even the strongest cannot ignore." The fleet retreated to a safe distance, cloaked and silent, leaving the Predator flagship incapacitated and drifting. Across the galaxy, word of the humans' audacity spread. Predators who had once considered themselves untouchable now hesitated, reconsidering their assumptions about a species they had long underestimated. Cade shook his head in awe. They thought themselves gods of the stars. Now they know humans are more than they imagined. Elias nodded. And this is just the beginning. Humanity will not bow. Humanity will not flee. We learn, we adapt, and when necessary we fight back, and we win. The Predator Lord's final roar echoed faintly through the comm channels, a sound that was more recognition than threat. It had met humans at their worst and survived, only to learn that this species' true strength was in their minds, their coordination, and their courage. Elias looked out at the stars, the weight of the galaxy pressing against him. We came as the underdogs. We leave as a warning. The untouchable are not untouchable anymore. And they will remember it. As the Horizon Vanguard and its fleet disappeared into the vastness of space, the galaxies shifted. Systems whispered of humans who struck where no one thought possible, a species underestimated by centuries of arrogance, and yet, more dangerous than any predator could ever anticipate. For the first time, the Zyrix Predators understood. Humans had arrived, and their era of ingenuity and courage had begun.